So we talked about the name of the game in the human man-made world, which is fear. And we placed on our throne, making it our own God, self-made, self-miscreated God of ours, which is ego or the fear itself. And we gave it all. We really, like paying to mafia, we became more and more poor and gave it more and more power, giving it ourselves to it. In psychology, there are these so-called archetypes, which are human models, human templates of behavior. And one particular archetype, or two of them connected, is the archetype of the beggar and the archetype of the prostitute. And prostitute doesn't mean just selling our body for money, but on human level, broader psychological level, is giving away, selling ourselves, who we truly are, our dreams, our wishes, the ones, the life we want, giving it away in exchange for security, financial security, material security, or to feel a sense of protection, of safety. But this is a big scam, because just like the ego, whose name is fear, on the big shiny throne that we placed it on, and it became this tyrant, this dictator that is ruling every aspect of this human experience, of how we feel, how we behave, how we think about ourselves, about others, about life, about everyone, which is based all on fear. And we gave it all our power. We are afraid again of fear itself. We gave it all with a hope, with a promise of safety, security. And that promise, it's never been delivered. If you notice in your life, the more we operate on fear-based, the smaller we make ourselves, the more insignificant, the less assertive, the less courage we have, the smaller we play in life, the smaller we get. That's the path of fear. It's a path of constriction to the point of leaving this life in a coffin, in a self-made cage with strong bars of fear. And even when we know that this self-made prison cage has the door open, we don't step into it. Why? Because what is our ultimate fear? So I was saying earlier that there are many colors, many shapes, many forms of fear. And one of the primary fears actually is the fear of death. We spoke about it in Transcending the State of Grief. And death doesn't refer just to the death of a person, of a loved one, but death as an ending. Death as the unknown that it's beyond the domain, the horizon line of fear that created through the need of control, of domination. It created its kingdom, and the unknown trespasses the borders. of that kingdom. So death, as we understand it, and death, it's funny because it's the unknown, the unpredictable, the uncontrollable is the what I think death might be, but I don't know it in truth because I haven't experienced it. So it's all a projection, a story, learned story, cultural story, all of these terror stories around death, the concept of death, rather than death itself, the experience, direct experience of death. And the direct experience, actually, we have the chance now through science and through the inquiry on this near death experiences, people coming back from having these experiences and telling us something completely puzzling, telling us about death as have nothing to do with what we learned, we thought, we believe death to be, but as this experience of tremendous freedom, stepping into light through the tunnel of light, this experience of freedom from bondage, the bondage of the man-made, self-created world in the body. So I think it was Wayne Dyer saying that if we truly knew through direct experience what death truly is, there would never be such a thing as the punishment with the capital punishment with death, with a death sentence. Because death, the experience, it's actually quite enlightening, quite freeing, quite passage of coming home into our essence that never dies, into what's really real, true as we are. But the way we conceive, we believe, we are convinced of death, and the frustrating part that it's unknown, unpredictable, uncontrollable, that really frustrates our God, our man-made God, our so-called ego, or the fear, because it cannot control it, it cannot dominate it, it cannot overpower it, cannot make it, it cannot turn it into what it wants to be, but it is as it is. The fear is trying very hard through our body, using us as puppets, is trying very hard to turn life into what it wants and needs to be, to dominate life, to be the God of life itself, and it cannot. It cannot, as much as the need for control comes very strongly out of fear. Control ultimately, although it's very exhausting, it's very effortful, the outcome is always, always the outcome of trying to squeeze tightly the water or the wind in between our fists. That's the result, and that's the frustrating part for the fear itself, which activates and tries with even more fear. And fear, again, it's in the domain of force. Remember, power versus force. The states of consciousness above 200 are through power, inner alignment, connecting oneness with the source of power itself, versus below 200 is the man-made world experience, and it's all based on force and based on the third principle of thermodynamics. Every force activates a counter force, and this is force, more force, more force, bigger forces, and it's a continuous struggle and battle within ourselves and outside of ourselves. So what is that we are really afraid of? It's good accessing the state of courage on 200, which is the gateway to the higher life-giving states. is the freedom, gateway to freedom. Courage, where I still feel fear, but I act despite it. So Hawkins says that one of the worst fears we have is actually the fear of our emotions, of our feelings. Most of the time, we do spend most of our life experience actually in the negative feelings, as much as we wish for peace and lightness and joy and love and the lightening up states from the higher states of consciousness. Most of our life, it's spent in the death giving or life depleting states of consciousness and emotions. So emotions are mostly negative, connected to negative emotions, which is pain, emotional pain. So a natural reaction is to avoid pain and look for pleasure. So we are afraid, one of the ultimate fears, if you wish, is the fear of our feelings. I'm afraid to feel because I expect to feel bad. And if I feel bad, I must have done something wrong. I must be bad. I must be worthless. So there is this continuum. Again, one state of consciousness is not just by itself, but there is this whole onion that connects all of them. And the states below 200, at the core of the onion, there are the states of shame and guilt. And then with higher energy, and fear is at the frequency of 100. So the fear of the fear itself is one of the greatest fears. I'm afraid to feel fear. I'm afraid to feel. So I would rather go numb or run away into thinking, escaping through thinking from my feelings. And that's what I'm getting trapped. I'm spinning round and round and going lower and lower into the dark hole through thinking, trying to figure out through my thoughts, through my automatic thinking, how to feel better, how to resolve what is at the feeling levels. But each aspect of ourselves has its own language. So the mind has the language of thoughts. We think through our thoughts. The emotions have the language of feelings, of emotions. I feel. I don't think my feelings. I feel what I feel. And the body has its own, very own language through the sensations in the body. And as they say, the body keeps the score, even when our thinking thinks differently about the body and what's supposed to happen. The body also, not only it keeps the score, but it doesn't lie. It tells us in the present, in the moment, what it is as it is. And the mind tries to override it, to bypass it, and to make it think that it's supposed to be something else, it should be something else, it's not quite right what it is the way it is. But the body, when we connect with it, and that's why it's so important to connect, to be in the body, to be aware of the way the body speaks to us and what it tells us directly, uncensored, uncontaminated by the voice of the mind, but hear the body directly, and it tells us the truth in that moment. In the body, we also connect through what's called the gut feeling that has our inner radar, inner GPS, that soft, gentle voice that tells us the way to safety, even when we are in a truly dangerous situation. But when we are disconnected from the body and we are too much into our mind and the stories of the mind and projections of the mind, we miss those signals that are signal transmitted through our body. And we are in our mind disconnected from the reality that is right at that moment. So, on a very practical level, how can we tell the difference between fear response and gut feeling? This inner GPS that carries our guidance, carries exactly what it is, and is the one that has the function to truly keep us safe, even when we are in a real danger. So the difference is actually how we feel it in the body. Fear feels very constrictive, very tightening, feels like hiding away, of making ourselves fall, of running away, avoiding. I don't want to think about it, but I keep thinking about it all the time. It's constrictive, it's bonding. Whether this gut feeling that it's connected, actually, it's our inner embodied intelligence beyond the mind. It's the body's wisdom that comes with a sense of calmness and quietness and peace. So, yes, be still and know gives us access and being in true safety, even when we are in dangerous situations. But we are connected, we are one with it, and we hear the signals before our mind can comprehend it and be able to make sense of it, agree or disagree with it. It's instantaneous. It's right there, right here in this moment. That's where, again, true safety is. And when we are in this alignment, in this true safety, we act in the best way. We don't act overact, over forcing, over defending, or fighting what we think is dangerous. We act appropriately, sometimes in the most perfect way. We are connected, we are aligned, we are safe. So the fear of the unknown, where it breaks and it frustrates our need for control. The fear of death as part of the unknown, as part of the end of what? The apocalypse. We have this archetype in our human history about the apocalypse that keeps being postponed. And we always see it as the physical death. But this archetype, it's another archetype, it's another human model, is the end of what? What am I afraid that I'm going to lose? What's the ultimate loss? The end of what? The end of my kingdom, of my life that I miscreated under the rulership of fear itself. Is the collapsing, the earthquake of everything that I learned, I believed, I invested my efforts, my striving, everything I've got, I invested in this miscreated, artificial life experience aside from life itself, aside from the life that was given to me to be lived, experienced in the fullness and full expression of what I am. as I was created to be. Just like a tree, and I love this metaphor. Imagine that you are a tree growing from the seed that was created to be, being more and more and living this life experience by being and growing and expressing itself more and more at different developmental stages, expressing and growing and being at all times what it is, only what it is, fully what it is. So instead of that tree that follows the natural laws of being aligned, one with life itself, flowing through it, we dislocate once again, we move on the side, and we miscreate our own kingdom with our own God on the throne. The name is fear. We are its slaves. We are in this continuous conditioned learning process of what else, more fear driven, more worry, more projections, more of that that fills our life every moment, even during the night when we are safely in our bed. So the fear of the apocalypse, of ending, the fear of death of this kingdom, I'm afraid of losing it all, of losing the life that I work so hard to create, of losing everything I know, everything I've learned, everything I got to have power over, to dominate, to control, to have, to feel good at. All of this, I'm afraid that the end will come and will demolish all of this. And this goes and relates to the deeper, ultimate fear that somebody recently expressed it so perfectly. The ultimate fear, which is the fear to be myself. The fear to be myself. This connects to the core of the onion, which is the states of shame and guilt. Why am I afraid to be myself? Why do we need to put all of these masks and roles and coping mechanisms and clothes and veils and disguises and pretends and faking and shoulds and musts and why? Why? So that goes back to the question of who do I think I am? Who do I believe I am based on the conditioning, the learnings from the world? So I'm afraid to expose myself, to be who I am, to be naked, to be vulnerable, to be authentic, because at the core, I believe that what I am is terrible, is horrible. It's so not what I'm supposed to be, so bad, so ugly, so insignificant, so unworthy, so everything that I'm supposed to be, and I'm not. At the core, I don't want to show for others to see through me. I believe that if they would truly see me for who I am, my inner belief, my inner conviction, based on what I learned, based on the God that I believed in on my self-made throne, my so-called ego, is horrible, is terrible. It is bad at the core. And I believe that. And I hate myself for that. I deny myself. I don't give myself the right to live, to experience life, to experience everything that life could be for me. I would never take the power away over who do I think I am. I will never cut myself a slack. I will never set myself free, but quite the opposite. That when I ask myself, why am I so afraid, and I'm afraid of judgment too. Okay, I'm afraid of being rejected, of being denied, of being ostracized, of being seen as weird, as the ugly duckling. I'm afraid all of this. So I'm afraid of being myself in light, in truth, because of all of these convictions that I think I am. So he spoke during the transcending state of shame, that the purpose of transcending that state, it's actually to find the true answer to who am I in truth as I was created to be. So I need to break free from who do I think I am? And again, this question is usually it's posted in a very condescending way, like who do you think you are? It's like you are arrogant to think that you can be more or bigger, or even yourself. Like you don't have that. I don't give you that right to be that. Just think again. Go back to the worst beliefs about yourself. Don't you dare to think the truth about yourself. So then it puts us in our place. And whose voice is that? Whose voice is it? Of who do you think you are? And initially, might have been an outside voice, somebody in our life that early on, verbally or non-verbally, asked these questions, made us feel this way. Who do you think you are? You are a piece of crap. You are nothing. You are nobody. You are worthless. That was the implication in that direct or indirect question. So keeping us small, keeping us in our place, underground, invisible, not existent. You don't deserve to exist here. You are not good enough for me to exist, to have the right to life. I'm the one telling you if you have the right to life or not. But that original external voice got internalized. So when we ask ourselves, whose voice is this critical, always judgmental voice, always, when we ask this now, the answer could be, well, it's me. Who is that me? We ask. Let's face it, let's look at this ultimate judge. Who is this? Me. Who is this me? I want to see it. I'm the one seeing now this me, what I call this me. Who is on this throne of self-judgment that it's terrorizing me all the time, non-stop, day and night? That's not good. You're supposed to do that. You haven't done enough. You haven't done what you should be doing. You are not good enough. You are not worth it. You're supposed to be that. You're supposed to lose weight. You're supposed to do more and that. And then you can never rest. You can never relax. You can never, no, don't have a break. It's not safe. It's not, let me show you another danger. Who is this me? Look it into the face. See it for what it is. This is the self-made aspect of me. This is the God on the throne. I put it on, whatever name I give it, ego, persona, fear, alter ego, whatever name I give it, it's a manufactured, man created in the co-creation with the word, trying to figure it out in the word, to be safe into the word, to survive, to make it through, to get it well all, to be the winner that takes it all versus the loser. That me, because I can see it right now in front of me, because I can see it. It's not me. The me is the one seeing it. The me is the one being aware. Conscience is the seer of it. It's not it. Just like I'm not my thoughts, I'm the thinker of my thoughts. I'm not my feelings. I'm the one feeling those emotions, feelings. I'm not even my body. If I cut a finger, I'm still me with or without that. I'm the one occupying this body. So who am I that actually I'm afraid of exposing to the world? The second greatest fear, they say, after the fear of death, is the fear of public speaking. Why public speaking? Because I'm exposed, I'm in front of the world of others that are, I expect them to judge me. And I don't really know how they judge me, but in the meantime, I judge myself worse than anybody else. And it's right here, right now. So the fear of being myself, ay. What if I simply drop this fear and all the chains, all the ropes, all the conditionings, all the bondage attached to this? What if I drop all the veils, all the clothes, all the coping mechanisms, all the strategies, all the manipulations, everything that I learned and I practiced and I thought I became, I drop them all. Everything that it's been manufactured, fabricated, rather than being what I am, what I was created to be, what I've always been and will always be, dropping everything, dropping, freeing the throne that I put my master, my God, on to fear itself, setting free, 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 free to be me. If I remember now who I am in truth, as I was created to be, before I stepped into this life on earth, the one that I was born to be. If I remember that time before the world kicked in, if I remember my essence, and yes, remembering that golden time, the little me when I felt completely free, carefree, unbounded, playing, free, free, free. That child, innocent, return to innocence. So I remember that and return to be who I am, that I've always been and will always be. I've been even while dreaming the dream of the world, the nightmares of the world. If I return that home, would I still be afraid to show me the world? Be myself. The light that I was created to be, light of the light. Love itself, of the love itself. Joy itself. Peace itself. Freedom itself. And stepping into the courage now to be, to honor by being the tree that I am in full expression. Again, we are not here to please God and definitely not to please the world. We are here to express in freedom, in expansion, in fullness, in openness, in love. What we are. So be it. So yeah. Amen.